gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Baton Rouge police report a murder suspect set himself on fire shortly after committing the crime. This happened overnight near Old Hammond Highway and Sherwood Forest at about 2:15 in the morning. Officers say Stephen Heinrich Jr. ripped a woman out of her car while she was parked at her house, stabbed her repeatedly. He then got into the car, took off, crashed shortly after, then lit himself on fire.
Wow. So we have a situation of domestic violence here where you have a man who stabbed a woman to death, crashed his vehicle, started a fire, set himself on fire, and then completely crashed out. And this is an interesting story because it is another interracial murder, except this time it is a white man who has murdered this black woman. And social media is going ablaze right now, no pun intended, because this woman was, I guess, a divester. And if you guys don't know what a divester is, it is a black woman who has divested from the black community and essentially chosen to exclusively date outside her race, in particular white men. So she had some pretty controversial tweets. One of which said, "Oh, we hate niggas over here." Another one in 2018, she was saying, "Send me a white boy." And then she also made a tweet saying, "I love how white people do things in New Orleans because they make it seem so classy and less dirty." So, you know, a lot of people would paint the brush of self-hatred onto this woman. A lot of people would paint the brush of a coon onto this woman if and only if it was a black man saying these things about black women. But since it's a black woman saying these things about black men, it's okay. And my point in bringing this story up is just to point out the absolute irony in the whole situation. I know we've had some casualties on the black male side as well, you know, when it comes to dating interracially. And it's almost become like a battle online to see, you know, whose interracial spouse is going to kill who and whatnot. It's a very toxic cycle, but we can't help but keep falling in and out of stories like these. So this is a true crime story for the century, and it is being blown up on social media. You have a discourse about the woman who was killed. And, you know, it's crazy. You know, when you are active on social media and then you die, people are going to bring up past tweets, past posts, past videos, whatever. And that is going to be your legacy. So it's just very interesting how things are playing out online. And in this case, these glider gremlins are on demon time.
Police put it out and put Heinrich in the hospital, where he is right now being treated with life-threatening injuries.
Haley, thank you. We are learning more details tonight about the man accused of stabbing his girlfriend this morning on Old Hammond Highway and then setting himself on fire. Paramedics rushed Stephen Heinrich Jr. to the hospital with severe burns described as life-threatening. Officers found his girlfriend, 23-year-old Stacy Charles, stabbed several times around 2 o'clock this morning on Old Hammond. She did not survive. Investigators say after stabbing the victim, Heinrich then drove off, crossed into oncoming traffic, intentionally hit another vehicle, and then set himself on fire.
Dang. So this man went into oncoming traffic. I was thinking he would just hit something stationary, but no, he hit oncoming traffic. And yeah, I don't know what caused their fallout. I don't know what caused their breakup. or this explosion of emotions and irrationality. But you know, you gotta feel bad for the sister here in this situation, because she thought she was moving on up to the east side just because she was dating a white man, and it ended up being her downfall. Not saying that it was because he was white, obviously, but it just, again, to point out the irony of the way she was positioning herself online. You know, they would do the same thing with black men. So I do think it is interesting, a story, RIP, as well, to this woman, Stacy Charles, and we're going to learn more about her and what happened. I also have images of the people involved in the thumbnail, but just a tragic story all in all. I don't see Black Lives Matter, and this would be the perfect story for Black Lives Matter to come out and you know, denounce domestic violence on all planes, no matter who the you know, the culprit is in this specific scenario. I don't see Protect Black Women Brigade, you know, coming out here either. It's just me. It really is just me, and I think we have to continue to highlight stories like this and more, because it just shows how tumultuous and violent this country is becoming, especially as it pertains to domestic violence situations. What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Janquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Michael, Sylvia, before Stephen Heinrich came to Louisiana, he had an extensive file of criminal and civil harassment complaints against him filed in Westchester County, New York, including several protective orders. 2 a.m. Thursday, 23-year-old Stacy Charles is laying in the parking lot of this Old Hammond Highway apartment complex, bleeding out. Baton Rouge police say her ex-boyfriend, 28-year-old Stephen Heinrich, had stabbed her multiple times before crashing his car and setting himself on fire.
They could have done their homework.
Dominique Ramkaran says Charles's death should have been prevented.
I said, y'all not going to do anything until someone dies. And look what happened.
Ramkaran, who lives in the same New York town as Heinrich, knows him well. He and her daughter went on a couple dates in 2023, and since then, their entire family's life has been a nightmare.
Wow. So it definitely looks like he had a type, and he was terrorizing the women that he would inevitably get with for reasons we are not sure, but it just goes to show you never know who you're dealing with. You got to be careful. You got to do your due diligence. You got to do your background checks on everybody. Doesn't matter the race of the person. You have to know who you're dealing with in a relationship context.
A year and a half you harassed and stalked my daughter. A year and a half you have tortured us.
She says when her daughter no longer wanted to see Heinrich, he began constantly harassing her, her daughter's friends, and other members of their family to the tune of hundreds of calls and messages a day, often from fake numbers.
To the point my phone is on Do Not Disturb. If you're not in my favorites, you could not reach me.
Ramkaran says the police didn't do much about it until they got a restraining order against him, which he was arrested for violating. However, he never served jail time.
After he violated the order of protection numerous times, they gave him probation.
At some point, he came down to Louisiana and began dating Charles. Ramkaran says her daughter's friends tried to warn her.
Rose reached out to the young lady, like, leave this man alone. He's crazy. He's going to stalk you. He's done it to my friend. She didn't believe us.
Dang. So she even was warned by other black women. See, this is where we have to kind of hold her accountable and say, hey, sis, I mean, You had other black women. I mean, it ain't no black men who hating and saying, oh, well, you know, you shouldn't date this white man because this and the third and he gonna put you back in chains and all this kind of. It wasn't black men doing that. It was a black women who came to her and said, hey, baby, this ain't for you. You don't want this. He did this to my sister. He did that. He stalked her. He harassed her. He called her all types of names. And then you got warned, Miss Stacy Charles, and then you just, I guess you were just like, oh, well, I finally got me my white man, so let me stick it out with this guy. And not understanding how dangerous he really was and what he was actually capable of. So there's just so much irony in this story. The fact that she was warned beforehand is even more disturbing and upsetting.
Soon after that, Heinrich was arrested for allegedly beating Charles. Commissioner Keena Kimball gave him a $2,500 bond and a restraining order.
And then he was bonded out with a low-ass bond by a black female judge. I mean, you cannot make this up. You can't make this up. So the sisters who are continuing to claim that white supremacy is holding them back, then you have these instances where you have a guy and, you know, he is the epitome of everything that you say that you hate, right? He's a guy who's harassing, stalking, beating on black women, white guy, doing all this. You got him in front of you in your courtroom and you let him walk on $2,500 bail so he can go kill another black woman. I mean, sisters, this is a big L. This is a big L. And then on top of this, you don't have people coming out and, you know, letting this be known. This is the judge who let him go on a $2,500 bill. I mean,
it was just 1 week before the stabbing.
So how does a man that has a flipping assault, like a harassment, has probation, have warrants, were able to slip through the system, get a $2,500 bail, and was able to go back to the same young lady that he harassed and kill her?
The WBRZ investigative unit has learned that at this hearing, the state did not have his complete criminal history, but did tell Commissioner Kimball that he had been arrested for violating a protective order in the past year.
The system failed both of these young ladies. It failed every young lady that had to go in the path of this man. He was supposed to be in jail.
So I love how this sister is talking, because she's not giving, you know, she's holding it consistent throughout the whole time. The system failed. Why? Because the system is too lenient on criminals, whether they be black, white, orange, blue, or yellow. Gotta crack down on these violent crimes that could lead to even more violent crimes in the future. And that is something that the system is 100% failing at, and we've covered it on this channel over and over and over again. And it is because of the criminal justice reforms that they have implemented after the George Floyd riots and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just factual. They pushed the defund the police, they pushed the criminal justice reform, and now it's too lenient.
According to Baton Rouge police, Heinrich had 6 different protective orders filed against him from women out of state.
Damn.
It's not clear why the DA's office here in Baton Rouge didn't have access to that information, but according to BRPD, they all have access to the same database where they could have found it. For the investigative unit, Bess Casserly, WBRZ News 2.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.